About 10:15 this morning, received a call of a collision at this location, horrible collision. And, once we arrived, we found one individual from a black SUV, which we determined came off of the overpass, was deceased, believe ejected from that vehicle. There's another passenger in that vehicle that was transported to the hospital. What we found out was that there was one individual that was ejected on the ramp prior to the SUV coming off of the overpass. After the vehicle landed on I-5, 3 other vehicles were involved in the collision with that vehicle. And there were some injuries there, and the fire chief can speak to those. I'm not sure of the severity. But right now the detectives are trying to, first of all, confirm who the driver of that SUV was, and the hows and whys, and how did that vehicle end up coming off the overpass. So that's kind of where we are right now. I don't have an estimate on when the freeway is going to be completely clear. I mean, we want to open it up as quickly as we can, but we're also going to do our investigation thoroughly.
So you're still trying to figure out, if speed was a factor, if impairment was a factor, all of that is just part of what they're trying to figure out right now.
So if there's anybody out there that maybe saw the collision, because right now, from what I understand, we don't have anybody that saw that initial collision. So I know we had somebody come upon the individual that was ejected on the overpass, but saw anything, even prior to the collision, this black SUV driving along the freeway. We want to speak to them.
So just to be clear, someone was ejected on the overpass and
Yes.
was found up there. The 2 others were in the SUV when it fell over.
Yes.
And then you're still trying to figure out which of those 3 was actually driving.
Correct.
You mentioned that you've never seen someone come off the overpass here. Talk about that.
Well, it's extremely rare. I mean, I'm sure historically vehicles have come off the overpass, but it just doesn't happen very often at all. I can't remember another situation like this. But you can imagine driving along the freeway and a vehicle lands in front of you. I mean, that's traumatic in and of itself. And unfortunately, someone lost their life today.
Our first units that arrived found a car that had come off the overpass, significant damage to that vehicle as well as other damaged vehicles. They did a triage and they determined that there was one person sadly deceased from the accident, another one with life-threatening injuries, and then there were 4 patients that were found that had minor injuries. A little bit later into the incident, we were notified that there was one patient that was actually up on the overpass that had gotten ejected out of the vehicle before it landed on I-5. That person was brought down, evaluated, and they refused our treatment.
Got it. When you look at, a chaotic scene like this, just what do you make of it? I mean, how do you guys respond to something like this? Freeway traffic, it's Friday, all of that.
So a number of things. First and foremost, we look at safety for our firefighters and for those involved. So we block a lot of lanes, but then also with the help of Washington State Patrol and DOT, they make sure that they keep us safe and keep everyone safe. That's a big plus. We always look at treating them most seriously first, and then go from there. So on this scene here, there was one person transported with life-threatening injuries up to Seattle, and there were 3 that were transported to local hospitals with minor injuries by ambulance today.
So 4 total taken to the hospital, 1
4.
life-threatening, 3 serious?
3 serious, yes. Or 3 with minor injuries.
3 minor.
3 minor, 1 with life-threatening injuries, and our condolences go out to the family of the deceased, as well as everyone that's involved. Obviously, this is very traumatic for everyone. Imagine driving down I-5 and then having a car land in front of you as you're, from an overpass and striking that. Just how traumatic that is. So very traumatic for a lot of people.
He had mentioned, he hadn't seen anything like this at this overpass. Have you ever seen anything like this where a car coming over?
Yeah, not from this overpass here. And in fact, this is the first time I've been on a call where we've actually had a vehicle come off of an overpass in 40 years that I've been doing this.
Obviously, like you said, it's traumatic, it's serious. I mean, how tall is that fall?
I would imagine that from that overpass down, I mean, you're probably looking at 25, 30 plus feet. Obviously, it's a significant fall and impact from that vehicle.
Anything else folks should know, or anything else you want to add that I should know, that I didn't ask you that I should have?
No, we're just happy that more people were not involved, that it did not land on a vehicle, and again, while tragic and somebody lost their life, it could have been a lot worse, and we're thankful that it wasn't.